Did you know the computer in your pocket today is the result of generations of innovation? Let's take a trip back to the 1960s and explore third-generation computers. Before we get to the third generation, let's quickly review the first two. The first-generation computers, like the famous ENIAC from the 1940s, were massive machines powered by vacuum tubes. These computers could fill an entire room, and they generated so much heat that they needed constant cooling. They were slow and very limited in what they could do. By the 1950s, the second generation came along. This time, computers used transistors instead of vacuum tubes. These transistors made computers smaller, faster, and more reliable. But they still had their limitations. Now, here's where the third-generation computers made a huge leap forward. In the 1960s, a revolutionary new component was introduced, the integrated circuit, or microchip. These microchips packed thousands of tiny transistors onto a small piece of silicon. It made computers even smaller, faster, and way more efficient. Some key companies, like IBM, were pioneers of this generation. IBM's System 360 was one of the most famous computers from this era, and it could perform different tasks by changing its software, something unheard of before. What's fascinating is that third-generation computers also brought commercial computing to more businesses, governments, and even universities. They weren't just used for complex scientific work anymore. And here's a fun fact. The concept of operating systems, which you use today on your phones and laptops, first started taking shape in third-generation computers. These computers could run multiple applications at once, which was groundbreaking for the time. In short, third-generation computers set the foundation for the technology we rely on today, shrinking computing power down to something more accessible while opening the door to the digital revolution. Without this crucial stage, our modern-day tech wouldn't be possible. So, the next time you see a microchip, think back to the 1960s and the amazing evolution that led us here.